boy Big Business, and we got a special episode today of What's Real Hip Hop. And the panel discussion, we got an all-star Central Florida cast today. I'm really honored and blessed to have all these guys on staff today. The question, the topic, can you make a living off of hip hop? Fun fact, in 2015, I believe Jay-Z made 60 million. Puffy made 56. But how much of it was really off of hip hop? These types of topics are what we're going to discuss today on What's Real Hip Hop. Stay tuned. I know I'm going to introduce, but today I want them to introduce themselves. I'm going to start to my far right with Infinite Skills.
As you said, my name is Infinite Skills. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. I've had music placed on ESPN with the Major League Baseball. I've also been named one of St. Petersburg's ambassadors for their national ad campaign, and I do hip hop.
What's up, y'all? I'm representing St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm Rival. I represent Team Rival. Got my first album out. Opened up for a lot of people coming through St. Pete. I'm also a Berg ambassador, and I do hip hop.
Hey, this your boy Gus Maximus, aka Lil Gus, Mr. Florida State of Mind. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm also the CEO of TG Media Group. We handle all things digital media, from video, photography, and digital distribution. I've been nominated for Album of the Year, Mixtape of the Year for my LP, Florida State of Mind, Best New Artist, and I'm here.
Hi, my name is J-Rock Jones of Look At 'Em Entertainment and Bitten Records. I am an artist. I'm a lead vocalist of the band Synergy in a Cup. I am from the Tampa area. I'm a lot of things, but today I am on this panel to give my opinion of things that are important. If you'd like to know more information on me, Google me. Cut that one. Damn it.
Really though? Alright. This is no edits, none of that shit. Alright, I'm Tone Capone, I spell it with a K. I'm a hip hop host and artist. I host Ignite the Night in Tampa. I host the Elements in St. Pete. I know J-Rock Jones. I know Gus Maximus. That's all I have to say.
I go by the name of Sean October. It's my real name. Hip hop artist, born in Brooklyn, New York, and now I reside in Tampa for the last 12 years. I actually been in the music industry since 1994. Funny that I've been in the industry that long. I'm finally working on my first album, so y'all can look for that before the end of the year.
Like I said, all-star cast. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Can you really make a living off of this hip hop?
So the question is, can you make money off of hip hop, or can you make a living off of hip hop? And I believe the answer to that is yes. I am not currently supporting myself completely off of hip hop, but I do have multiple revenue streams, whether that be the live shows. I also host events, the music, the streaming, buying the CDs, merchandise like the t-shirts that you see. I think like any business, you want to have as many revenue streams open at the same time as you possibly can. Not every business is profitable in the first year or the second year, but if you have systems in place and you have the knowledge base, you can work music, and work your music, and work the music industry so that you can become profitable. I'm happy to say, I won't say when exactly I got started, but I have been in the black for the past 3 years of making music and all the different things that I do in music. So I would say yes, you can make money, you can make a living. I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely heading toward that way.
To play devil's advocate, I'm gonna say no, because I don't feel like, well, I can't speak for nobody else, but I don't think people are actually gonna be on this table and say no. Everybody's gonna hit you with the yes and give reasonings why they feel like you can. In the golden era of hip hop, you were able to make a substantially large amount of, excuse my French, fucking money, right? In today's society, I don't feel like you can make a living from it, but it can definitely start you on the path to actually make a substantially larger amount of money from other avenues that started because you did hip hop, and that's in anything you actually do. It's if you don't live above your means, you can actually make money and actually live a comfortable life. But when you actually have things that come into play, where it's real bills or kids or college tuition and things of that nature, if you don't actually set in place a system, you will actually live above your means, and then you won't be in the black. You actually wake up every morning stressed. So with so much music coming out so fast, you will actually, you don't have the ability to make the money you should make, because the attention span, unfortunately, because of how everything is drawn out as far as social media and things of that nature, you don't have a chance to make the money unless you are a substantially big pop star, where you can actually make a big, I'm not gonna get too in detail because that's a different topic. But yes and no, to be honest. Yes, you can. Realistically, no, you won't, unless you actually got some kind of other ways of making money outside because you started with your hip hop. My opinion.
And I mean, I want to, get involved. I'm going to go back to the right, but like, with the thing back in the day was, I got signed, and we have signed artists on this panel. We have people who have been signed, people who are still currently signed. I don't know if that means what it used to mean, especially from a financial standpoint. But everybody up here makes money from this music game, and I do want to get somebody to my right to kind of comment on what their experience is with that.
And I kind of agree. I do agree with what J-Rock was saying, and I also agree with what Infinite Skills was saying. I mean, ultimately, being a hip hop artist, that is just the avenue that you got to use. It's a tool. You use that to generate the different means of revenue to stream in certain amount of income to keep you out of the red, put you in the black. But that cannot be the reliance of making the money. That's just a resource to almost like a retention. You got to be more than just a hip hop artist. You got to be able to merchandise yourself. You got to be able to brand yourself to where you just not somebody who's doing shows to pay bills. I did a digital distribution with my first LP, and I got a check every 3 months from them. Was that check enough for me to live off of? No, it wasn't. But I had to use that to create other avenues to make a substantial amount of finances to make sure that I have a comfortable living. And what I mean about that is the merchandising, the going on tours and things of that nature. So can you make money off of hip hop? Being a hip hop artist, just off of hip hop, you can make money, but can you make a living? You gotta be more than just a hip hop artist. You gotta be you gotta be a product. Basically, what it comes down to, you got to be a product. You got to be more than just a hip hop artist. You got to be able to, you got to be a brand. You got to be able to generate revenue based off of. You got to be able to sell like silicone bands, like, you know what I mean. You can't just be somebody who make music. It's deeper than that. Your grind got to be deeper than that. Your hustle got to be deeper than that. A check every 3 months. You got bills that got to be paid every month. You feel me? So you gotta be deeper than, you gotta be better than that. You gotta be more than just an artist. You gotta be an instrument to where I can have money coming in every avenue possible, even if that means hosting events, DJing events, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
And I mean, that's an interesting topic, and I want viewers to take notice that, half of the people up here are wearing their own apparel. It's one of those types of things where we give so much money away to other people. I mean, you go to shop at Walmart, you spend $100, $150, and you don't blink an eye, but you go to a show, and if it's a Tone Capone show, if it's a Rival show, if it's a Infinite Skills show, you think about whether or not I'm gonna spend this $15 on a local artist who is repping your city, trying to put your city on. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be a thought. it shouldn't be a thought. You go spend that money on Starbucks, you're not gonna see anything from Starbucks. So that's just one of those things that, it kind of drives me to kind of put this thing together, because everybody on here has paid their dues. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that needs to be recognized, elevated, and it needs to be a different movement towards, mobilizing and rising. I'm gonna let somebody on the left get a little bit on this, because you have been making a living. Have you been making a living like you want is really, what the question is.
I agree on both sides. Definitely what Gus was saying. You have to use it as a springboard into other things. Acting, merchandising, whatever you can. Me personally, I work 2 jobs, but that's because I have kids. Those bills come at a alarming rate. And then you have to worry about putting kids through college and things of that nature. So yeah, you can live off of it, but you gotta use it as a springboard, I believe. That's my answer to the, at one time I did live off of it, but that was so long ago, and it was a different game back then, where where big business was saying, it was a big deal getting signed. When you got signed, you gotta advance. But coming into the game young, not knowing that if you don't live up to these people's standards, you owe them money. Like, you get an advance, you owe them money, and people don't know that about getting signed. So the game is a lot different now. I mean, you can record something in your house now and put it on a computer and make money off of that. So it's a head and the tails thing. You can live off of it, but it's how hard your grind is to live off of it. And that's my answer.
I'll go ahead and follow up with that right now, since, he's to my left and everything. But I agree with Sean. I agree with everybody on the panel when it comes to stuff like this, because honest to God, everybody on this panel has been doing a business, and we've been in the trenches for a long time at the same time, so this ain't nothing new. When it comes to stuff like this, it's like, all right, we're a hip hop artist, I try to sell you a ticket to my show for $5 or $10, you might, buck at trying to spend $5 or $10, but y'all spend $45, $75 to go see Rihanna or whatever.
Real talk.
I gotta deal with that. Alright, I got a t-shirt, I got my logo on it, whatever. I'm trying to make some money off that so I can fund whatever I'm trying to do. The logo might have cost however much, t-shirt might have cost however much. Y'all might want to pay $10 for it because you know me. But you'll pay $20 for a Rihanna shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different because we're not big time yet. But in order for us to get big time, we need support from our people. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So if y'all want to show us support, so we can get where we need to go, then good. But if not, then we still got to get there. So how are we going to get there? And that's where the whole catch-22 comes into play. As a hip hop artist, man, honestly, this game is, we're about 10, 15 years behind our time right now. You know what I'm saying? If we would have came into the shit in the 90s, 2000s, when people was actually selling CDs, it'd be a different ball game. But right now, people's downloading shit, bootlegging shit. And, I can't act like I don't do the shit. What's up, Mama D? I can't act like I don't do the shit at the same time, but at the same time, we're trying to sell a product to our fans, and we're trying to let our fans know that we're rocking with them and we want their support, but people don't always support us. So we're just stuck at the damn beginning of the shit. Honestly, I really don't know how to answer this question, man. Real shit. We try to do what we can do. People support, and if they don't support, then we still got to do what we got to do.
Tone Capone's angry.
And I think I just want to make a segue because it's real. Because I think everyone up here has spent thousands of dollars in this music game. Thousands. And whether they get it back or not, they're still putting that money in, and it's not just for us. We try to give the people something back. You know what I'm saying? And then, there's an important point. Can you make a living? But living does mean, hey, I want a family one day. You know what I'm saying? I know Rival has a child on the way. He has, shows with Infinite Skills. they merchandise, they do big things, but that question runs through your mind. Do I have to make a lifestyle adjustment? Did you give up too early?
That's a big question. Wow.
I mean,
When that hit you, right?
when you 15,000 in, should I spend that extra 5? Is that because I got a following? I mean, these people to my right and my left, they have followings.
When you're done, I got something to say about that, but it's definitely on you because, you know what I'm saying? I got
That rivals me.
Yeah, please.
No doubt.
Please.
So in the grand scheme of things, you know, I don't necessarily think at this point in my music career or whatever that I could actually make a living, have a child, you know, college tuition, like what everybody was talking about. Now, in the last 3 years that I've been doing the music thing, have I made money? Yes. Am I in the negative? No. I've made money. I've made money off t-shirts. I've probably made more money off t-shirts than my music. Just because I do have a following and I do have people that support me as a person and also the message that I bring with my music. Do I think I can just quit work and do this music thing on a regular? No, not at this point. And like you said down there, it may not ever even happen. You know, to live prosperly and how I want in my life, unless I can, you know, get about 50,000 more followers in my life, or you know, following me that will buy a T-shirt or some music. And like I said, I've struggled to sell my actual blood, sweat, and tears that's in the music that I have in my shirts, which for me, I mean, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that I have people that support me that will buy the shirts. But really, I mean, this is what it's all about, is the music for me. And getting people to buy the music, even personally, hand to hand, or even on the internet. Internet sales are really low for me. Like having people buy music off of you know, iTunes or anything like that for me has not been prosperous. So my answer to that is, at this moment, do I think I can make a living off hip hop? No.
I'm gonna get back to J-Rock, but before we go down, there's been a lot said on the panel. I want to make it known, at least from my perspective, that nobody owes me anything as a hip hop artist. Not a fan, not my colleagues, not videographers. No one owes me anything. So when I have a show or if I have a CD, they have a choice in the marketplace to decide whether or not they want to support what I do. It's not about Rihanna, it's not about Infinite Skills, it's not about Tone Capone. It's, do you like this music enough to separate that $5 or that $10 from your wallet, that exchange from a business talk? You know, I created a product, I set the price for that product. You as a fan, do you want to support that product with that money? Simple as that. If you don't, then my job has not been done yet with you. If you don't want to pay that $10 to come to my show, that means I haven't convinced you enough to make that exchange. So it's not the plight of a lesser known artist. It's just where I am at this point in my career, and I have to be real with myself and understand that. But if we're asking the question, can you make a living? I say it's absolutely yes, but I'm not there yet. But I'm at the, you know, I have the systems in place where I feel confident. I know you said that you don't know if it ever will come. I feel like it's definitely going to come. For me, for you, just definitely seeing the things that you're able to do in our city, I just feel like I need to get in front of more people and get that product and that message in front of more people so I can have more successful exchanges. Because if it's not happening necessarily in the little small block that I live in, I have the confidence in the music to know that there's enough people out there that can be reached and can be touched and do want an Infinite Skills t-shirt and have no problem paying $15 or $10 or whatever the price may be. I just need to meet more of those people, and I need to have the funds in my systems, in my business, to get out and reach those people. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do more shows outside of this particular market. I think a lot of times as artists, we don't necessarily promote ourselves the way that we should, or spend money on advertising. the way that we should, so that we can reach those people and find what our market is, because there's billions of people out there, and if we put in the work that Rihanna puts in or put in to get her craft to the place that it is, and has a team around her that she has, then you'll have more of those exchanges, and that's what I'm working towards.
My statement, actually, you touched on a little bit, and so I appreciate that. And then my brain kind of rambles, so you have to excuse me. And this actually goes with the rival scenario also. About 5 years ago, I did my first event. 5+ years, I did my first event at Crowbar, and it was for my album Nothing Venture, Nothing Game. And it was a shitload of people in the room. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me, at the end of the night, why in the hell I had all these albums and I'm taking them home, right? And we all go through that. And I sit home, it was almost like when I graduated from high school and I sat on my bunk bag in a project and I said, well, damn, what am I gonna do now? Right? Because everybody's not gonna go to college. Excuse me, this is one of those brain rambling things, but it all ties in. All right, so I was trying to figure out what the hell am I doing wrong, or what did I do wrong for people to actually come to this event and have a good time outside of the people who really don't want to be there, but they're just there because they were invited, and or the people who just want to be nosy.
They gotta show face.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you get past those people, you kind of figure out like, well, damn, who's here for the J. Rock Jones brand, or the artist of Tampa who's trying to do something for the movement. And then you pick it back on the rival scenario, where you have people buy all these goddamn shirts, but you can't get them to understand the music, right? So I was trying to figure out for a long period of time, what the hell was I personally doing wrong? So every time, I call it the King Henry James syndrome. A lot of people don't know who Henry James is, but he's one of the dopest artists you would never know.
Yes, sir.
And that's for 2 reasons. He, as far as what we do, he took Christ, and that was his lane now. Kudos to him. On the other end of it, he would come into the room where all black glasses, get on stage and bust their ass, right? J. Rock Jones, when he gets on stage, he busts their ass. Henry James, I can say, was better than me on stage, busting their ass. And then we get off stage, he played that ball. He played the wall. You never had a conversation with him. So when I did Nothing Venture, Nothing Gang, I said to myself, what the hell am I doing wrong? As artists, we spend so much time trying to master our craft that we're not mastering our craft. And what I mean by that, we're on stage busting their ass, but I would never have a conversation with you, right? So I always have this thing where one fan makes 3 fans, right? And there's 2 ways to do it. When I get off stage, I smile, I have a good goddamn time. I'll come shake your hand, right? Somewhere along the line, you're gonna talk to me again, you're gonna talk about me again. 3 fans, that's one way. On the stage, right? Instead of spending all that time trying to have that conversation with your music, have the conversation on the stage. Then they can relate more to the music. I figured this shit out when it was too late. I had like fucking 2,000. You couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna sell all these albums. But now that I get to a certain place in life, I figured it out, right? August 12th, Crowbar album release. That was my cheap plug. But it's the reality of things. And it's one more thing, one more thing, all right, and I'll be done. I've come to realize when we do events, we all go through, everybody, when we do events, we have this moment where we get so fucking depressed at the end of the night. Right? Because you feel like everybody had a good time, but your whole movement wasn't effective. You feel like nothing went in your favor. And you're trying to figure out another reason, like, okay, it's like working a 9 to 5 and you're broke, but realistically your bills are paid, so you're not broke, you're wealthy. And it's the same approach you have to take with music, right? So you spend all this money and you give all these things away and you feel like you got no money from it. But you know what I'm getting at. You have so much that actually came from that moment. It's like, there's nothing wrong with investing in yourself and being broke as shit and having to ask somebody for gas money. Right? For the next 2 weeks. That's the best investment in the world, man. So if you take those elements, you take those equations, on stage, off stage, really investing in yourself and not being ashamed to say that you're broke. Right? But you're not broke, you're wealthy. So that was my piggyback on that.
And I mean, that ties into a connection about, why we're doing this. You know, there are people in the crowd who are in music. You can't see them, but this is something that has been near and dear to me because I've actually gone to different markets: Orlando, Polk County, Tampa. What's going on in the St. Pete area as well. And the guys here, they're all in. They're all in, and it's a situation where I'm like, okay, well, it's not about me anymore because I just want to hear good music. I started music because what I felt was, you know, on the radio was trash. I said, I can make something better than that. And one of my goals was to get to the radio, and I did it twice. But that wasn't about money for me, that was about music for me. And I'm in a situation where I'm trying to really put everybody who has that grind on and trying to put them in a light to where they can be lifted, you know, because a sea that's rising rises all ships. And these guys have been grinding, hustling, doing their thing. And it's the thing where it's like, well, why haven't they made it yet? Because I can be honest, their grind is way harder than me. I flirt with it like a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? I spend 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 3,000 there, you know, but you know, these guys,
Wait a minute, your girlfriend love you?
not every day.
You gotta keep that shit on the low. Wait a minute.
Hey, I mean, it's an it's an investment. At the end of the day, when I have to sign off on the conference center and the bills and the food and the drink, I know where that money went.
Exactly.
I know where that money went.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna regret that money being invested in other people. Because when you invest in your community, that comes back. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, bills are bills, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna feel better about this knowing that it went towards people who are on their grind.
Keyword.
Well, I definitely appreciate everybody who's coming in on the panel today. Real heartfelt discussion on can you make a living off of this hip hop. I think we basically came to the conclusion that hip hop, you can make a way, but it's only the beginning of something bigger if you want to make a living.
Well put.
I think that's basically what we came to the conclusion of. Support your local artists, because we out here sweating, bleeding, grinding for this. Big business, we out.